Hey YouTube, welcome back. Today we continue our series in JavaScript tutorials. In this series, we'll try to answer the questions that you may face in JavaScript interview. So today's question is that what is a scope in JavaScript? So a scope in JavaScript refers to the context or environment in which variables and functions are declared and can be accessed. It determines the visibility and lifetime of variables, as well as how they are accessed and manipulated within a program. Understanding the scope is crucial, in my opinion, for writing correct and maintainable JavaScript code. So let's talk about the main types of the scope. Actually, let's just start with here with a global scope. And in the global scope, we have just have const. I'll create like global variable, and it will be like this is a global variable, and I'll create a function called the global function. And yeah, and this one, let's just not have local variables here. Let's just console log this one. And let's just run the function. If we run the function, we expect to get this is a global variable. So global variables are variables that are declared outside of any functions or block or block have a global scope. They are accessible from anywhere in the code, in the JavaScript code, including within the function and the blocks. Global variables should be used in sparingly to avoid polluting the global scope, which can lead to naming conflicts and unintended interactions with the code. Also, you could just create the global variable like that. This could also work. After that, we have the local variable, just local scope. So basically, variables declared within a function have a local scope. So meaning that they are accessible only within that function. They are not visible or accessible from outside. So let's just have like a create a function. We call it a local function. Yeah, this example, great. And let's call this function. If we call a local function. So basically, if you can see here, the function is only accessible inside the scope. You cannot access it outside. If you try access the function outside, it will give you an error. So here, each function creates its own scope, and variables declared within that function are isolated from the outer scope. This is the main thing about it. So JavaScript also has block scope, which was introduced in ECMAScript E6 with the let and const keywords. Variables declared with let and const have block scope, which means they are accessible only within the block, not only in the function. So if we create, let's just try to say that. I'll say if true. Okay. So for this one here, or we can do with let. It's local block variable, and let's just make it with let this one because I just feel like it. So and this one here, as you can see, this one is only accessible inside the block. It's not accessible outside the block at all. So in conclusion, scope determines variable visibility, accessibility, and the lifetime. Variables declared in inner scope and can shadow and hide variables of the same name in the outer scope. So basically, if I have this one here, if we're using this variable inside it, the variable the code all the time will use this one if we are writing code in this scope, because all the time this variable will shadow this variable if we are writing in its scope. So the variables that are declared in inner scope can shadow or hide variables of the same name in outer scope, but the outer variables are not affected by changes made to the shadowed variables. A proper understanding of scope is essential for avoiding bugs related to variable naming conflicts and for writing a clean and maintaining code. So yeah, that's it for today's video, and I hope you like my content. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and see you in future problems.